तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। समस्तजनकल्याणी निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ॐ श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरुवे नमः। हरि ओम। Please give me a reminder 5 minutes before 6:30. We've been saying for last couple of days that before approaching the Upanishad, we try to analyze our life. The beginning of thought process is only when we isolate ourselves from ourselves and try to observe us. If you are so involved with yourself that you cannot isolate yourself from yourself, then the observation cannot be perfect. Being a part of the problem, you can never find a solution. Sometimes we called it as out of box thinking. So when we observe the life in different contexts and in different outlooks, we get variety of analysis. All the analysis points out ultimately to only one thing, but still the analysis itself makes it more powerful in terms of our determination, our decisions, our thought processes, and ultimately our goal to be achieved. So if we look at our life, we realize one thing, that what is there in our life? The list could be endless, but the entire list could be brought down to one line. Our life is life of limitations. Take anything, we are limited. Let us take example of our own body. My body is a limited adjunct. I am perhaps 5.5 feet, so I can't touch the ceiling. There is a limitation of my height. And whenever there are limitations to me, I realize one thing, that the limitation forces me into a category called need. Need arises from limitation. You need something because you are limited. I am limited as a body, so hunger is my need. And since hunger is my need, I have to work upon it. I have to work for the food. And when I have to work for it, I must attain the knowledge of obtaining the food to satisfy the limitation or the need. So all my efforts are basically to satiate the need that arises, which arises from the limitation. It won't be wrong if we make a very bold and a concrete statement that limitation is a ghost sitting on the body of the need, constantly propelling to work through desires. The seed of that desire is in the need. Let us say there is no existence of Ferrari in this world. It's not there. Why would the need arise? Now the limitation has come to me because I know it exists. I know I can't have it. I have a limitation. So that's why there is a need. There is a need, that's why I have a desire. Now the question is, Limitation of every kind is coming from where? You have two choices to work, like the doctor works. Or you have a fever, why don't you have a paracetamol? The fever will come down. What has happened? The effect has been taken care of. The need has been taken care of. Limitation hasn't been taken care of. The bacteria that caused the fever requires an antibiotic, not paracetamol. One is causative approach, one is approach for the effect. Now analyze our own life. Are we working on the cause or are we working on the effect? Majority of the times, I am working on the effects of my limitation. Not only that, to this extent, stupidity could have been accepted also. When we are working on the effects, we glorify the effects. Let us take a concrete example. This is a limited agent called body, Shariram. Limited. Moment you are in the Shariram, certain limitations apply. One of the limitation is you will not survive if you don't eat. Limitations are there, so there is a need now of food. Since I am limited, or till the time I am limited, I shall need food. I may be Videhi Atma, but I need food. Gurudev required food 3 times a day. Agreed. The question here is, you work on the effect that because the food is required, I must. Now I start glorifying the effect. And then couple of channels are produced on the TV called food channel. Take this ingredient, take that ingredient. This is called glorification of effect. This is where two types of reactions come from the Jivan Mukta. One is of pity. God forgive them, they do not know what they are doing. This is one effect of a Santa when he looks towards us. And second is ridiculous. Why? 2 square meals is what that need has arisen from. If it is kept at the need level, what will happen because of that? First of all, there are so many needs because there are so many limitations. Now you're anyway fighting your limitations, and if you glorify the effects, God can only save us. The human effort in that case shall be nullified at every single step because we are working on the effects, not by mitigating the effects, but by glorifying the effects. The first instance of stupidity that we do in our life. Second, we are born with limitations which are inherent in us. There are some intelligent people who borrow limitations. How do you borrow limitations? The finest way of borrowing limitation is to adopt science. This may sound little not so happy to the ears, but a little deeper thinking will tell us that what was the need for me to communicate with each other on the mobile? Let's come to the basics of it. Is it that the invention created the need or the need created the invention? Even today, the tribal people are without the cell phone and they're carrying on with their life. That limitation now of not having cellular communication is a borrowed limitation. So, in other words, I am constantly borrowing limitations. Again, there is a subset of further stupid people in that borrowing also. What do? They glorify the borrowed limitation. 10, 10x, 11, 11 Pro. This is glorification of borrowed limitation. So first thing is we are limited. We have borrowed further limitations. Normal limitations do create the need in us. Borrowed limitation create higher needs. Sum total of needs increases in the life. Sum total of needs is directly proportional to the desires that come into the bosom. And then plethora of desires constantly smothering us, creating enormous amount of frustration, is what we call as life. This is where one needs to observe the life. Observe each and everything. This is what the scripture says. Tishthada, stay. Pashyati, see. These words are pregnant with meanings. That seeing is different than the seeing that we do. A thorough, analytical, thought based approach towards the life is must if you are inclined to get rid of the limitations of life. Now comes the question of knowledge. Every single knowledge that we have is with the limited adjunct. I get the knowledge by seeing the things because I have eyes with me and a mind to analyze. Unfortunately, it has a limitation. It can't see what is happening in California as of now. So there is a limitation on my indriyas. There is a limitation to my knowledge. That means every single sector of knowledge that I try to apprehend shall always be limited in its capacity. I am a doctor. I have a knowledge of surgery. I have performed surgeries. But my knowledge is not comprehensive enough to answer everything in life. I am a surgeon and I have no sorrow in life. I am a surgeon, I can operate an appendix. This sounds well. This sounds true. But I am a surgeon and I have no sorrow in life. This doesn't fit well. That means my knowledge of surgery does not mitigate the sorrows in my life. In the same sequence, if we look at every knowledge that we acquire, every knowledge is a limited knowledge because it is obtained by a limited soul. The knowledge is not limited. The instrument that is acquiring the knowledge is limited. That means in every aspect of life, there is an aspect of knowledge which is not known to us. That is what is called esoteric, guhya. What is esoteric? Esoteric is something which is not known to us. And then, if something is happening out of esoteric knowledge, we call it miracle. Something which cannot be explained by the set of knowledge that I have. So that means the exoteric knowledge that I have is a minuscule part of the whole comprehensive knowledge, a majority part of which is always unknown to me. And the reason for that unknownness is my limited existence, my limited adjunct, my vichinna vyaktimatva, limited personality. The question comes, why have so much of discussion then? The so much of discussion is for the purpose that the Hindu scripture, way back, right in the beginning of humankind's, when they must have started thinking, it took a stand. Do I focus myself on the effects, on the limitations, or do I move backwards towards the cause? If you move towards the cause of limitation, you come across the discoveries of different nature. And if you move towards the effects of limitation, you come across discoveries which are called inventions of different nature. The entire Western world, from the same point, moved towards the effect and the limitation part. The Occidental or the Eastern philosophy or the Hindu philosophy or Buddhism or whatever started thinking more towards the causative factor. That is where the diversion took place. The difference again is one more aspect which we need to understand. The research, the analysis, the discovery of effects when it is done, because effect is within space and time, it is it can be comprehended with the help of sense organs. So whatever is within the limitation of sense organ is the analysis of the effect, and that is why all these scientific discoveries are observable by all. The basic requirement is a sufficient level of intellectual capacity and the presence. There is a bubble chamber in which it is said you can see an atom. You may use inference, anuman, chromatography. From chromatography, you can say this must be sodium element, anuman. Or pratyaksha, you see under the microscope the Cox bacteria causing tuberculosis. Pratyaksha. All these pramanas are possible on when you are working on the effect. The Hindu scriptures and the highest of them, instead of wasting my words, I will use Gurudev's words, that if one has not seen, read and understood Upanishads, he cannot call himself a Hindu. Gurudev's definition of Hindu is very simple. That is the status that they give to Upanishads. Why? Because it analyzes, dissects the cause, and the beauty lies further to that. Every substance in this world has an atom, there is a nucleus, there is an electron. All we have read. Have we experienced it? There is no kind of experience. There was in the book, I read it, I wrote some question, I was pushed into the next class, job done. This doesn't work when it comes to the causative analysis. Knowledge here is lived, Lived. Knowledge is not obtained. It has to be enlivened. We should live the life. So entire approach of Upanishads is basically a preparation. It's like a gentleman who wants to take a bath. All the fumes, oils and massages and everything is done. The hot water has been brought. Only thing he hasn't done is not taken a bath. This can work in science. Presumption can work. Because वैसे भी if the atom is not known to me or I have not seen it, what difference does it make to me? I don't have to every time remember I'm drinking H2O. Water is there, it satiates my thirst, and my job is done. It is not so when it comes to analysis on the other side. Now comes a very important aspect, and the aspect is if I have to have a comprehensive knowledge when it encompasses everything within its capacity. Kasmin bhagavo vijñate sarvam idam vijñato bhavati. What is that if I know there is nothing left to be known? Direct question of Upanishad. Upanishad takes everything head on. Now the question is, those who realized it, those who went to that path, those who had comprehensive knowledge, they came and told that it is possible to have the comprehensive knowledge, but there is a but there. And the but is not the way you are obtaining the knowledge, one, not at the place where you are sitting, two, and not by means of the instruments that you have. First is well understood. You should not be in the world. You should not get entangled in the world if you want that knowledge. Agreed. Alright. From tomorrow onwards, all my bonds, they are called bonds, I shall detach myself from them. I shall reduce the effects to minimum. Anna, Vastra, Nivara. Food, shelter, and the clothing. to the basic, to the bare minimum basic. Done. Other than this, doesn't it is not a precondition in Upanishadic knowledge that you should be a member of India Club. That's not there. That condition is not there in that. I can clear that. So from the point of view of that action, I can work on it. Even that itself is difficult, but let's say I can work on it. The second or the last condition which is put by the people who have reached there, which it says that it is not possible by the instrument that you have been employing so far, is where we feel the problem. I do not have any other instrument, sir. And then the teacher says, Guru says, surrender your finest instrument, and my finest instrument is my intellect. And moment I surrender it, he says, this cannot work. If this cannot work, my finest instrument is over, how is it that you expect me to transgress this? He says, no, it requires a kind of sharpness. And I ask a question, what does it dissect, sir, if you want it so sharp? He says, it dissects space and time. To dissect what is there within space and time, you have the intellect. Even that requires refinement. One odd Einstein is born, doesn't matter. But it's still born. It's possible. You can work on it the way you are working. And then the question comes, sir, if that is the case, how can I sharpen my intellect so that I can slash time and space? So I have two questions to ask. One is, why should I sharpen that skill? Why not with my present intellect? Second is, what would happen if I sharpen it? And the answer to that is, if you sharpen your intellect the way I told you to do, what would happen is, it shall help you in transcending the space and time. One, the reason why I'm trying to tell you is that truth lies beyond space and time. Moment you cross the space and the time, you will be reaching a truth called transcendental truth. Now the understanding is, I must have a sharpest possible instrument called intellect with a penetrating or sharp razor edge so that I can dissect space and time, and then I will obtain the transcendental truth. And the Guru says, no, you will not obtain. Then what will happen? You will be the truth. Again, it confuses further. If I am the truth, then why am I not realizing it now? Because you are trying to look at the truth through the spectacles of space and time. And space and time limits the truth. We started from analyzing our life. We have reached to a point where we are trying to understand what is precisely we are supposed to do in our life. A man is extremely thirsty. He's trying to dig in the desert again and again, again and again. Suddenly he finds that the soil seems to be a little wet here. He's happy. He starts again digging. Then gets hardly few drops of muddy water, which somehow he puts in and says, yes, the water has come. And there is a gentleman sitting besides there, right by the side of a clean, pure water lake, and he's shouting to this man that, please come over. No drop, I'm not talking of drop. You're constantly at the lake, there is a constant source of pure Ganga water that you wanted. And that is precisely why the difference in the approach always remains. If you start from the effect side, then Karma Yoga comes into the picture. What is Karma Yoga? De-entanglement from the effects of the need or the limitations. Once you do that, then what happens? You have to devote yourself towards the cause. Devoting towards the cause is Bhakti Yoga. devoting yourself to the cause, not to the effect, is Bhakti Yoga. And once you devote to a particular cause, naturally the cause will throw bare open to you. There is a mantra in Kathoupnishad where it says Tanu. Tanu is Sharira. They say Atma, some of the commentators have been used as is like a lady would bear the body, the Atman bears itself. There is a mantra of that kind. What it means, the cause becomes obvious to you. So we have a limitation of knowledge which divides the knowledge between exoteric and esoteric. Exoteric is a small drop in the whole thing, esoteric is so much, and that is precisely why the mystery. How can we answer that why so many galaxies are moving? Why so many black holes are formed? Very recently, a phenomenon was observed where two black holes collided with each other. It was never observed earlier, and the gravitation that was exerted at that point in time was 325 billion times than the gravity of Earth, which would mean the entire Earth will be compressed into a rubber eraser. Why? Do we know the reason? And then in the Chandogya Upanishad, the same question happened. The son went, Shvetaketu went to his father and said, Sir, I'm done. I came back. I learned everything. Uddalaka, Gautama said, Oh, you learned everything. Yes, you are knowledgeable. You've learned so much. You came from the Gurukulam and whatnot. So shall I start now with my knowledge? He says, Look, I am not very much qualified to ascertain whether you are knowledgeable. There is a Jayavali, you can go to him. He's a king. You can go to him and ask him whether I have the sufficient knowledge or not. So he went there. Jayavali also welcomed him. He was sitting there. He said, You are so learned. You did so much of Gurukulam and all that. Jnani has come to my place. So he did all the respect, whatever food, everything was given. And then he said, Sir, my father has sent to you to know whether I am knowledgeable enough or not. He said, I don't know much, but I have precisely 5 questions if you can answer them. And then he started answering the question. From where we come? We are born. From where? He says, I don't know. After birth, I know everything. From where? I have no idea. Okay, sir, maybe then you don't know from where we come. Where do we go after death? He said, Up to death, sir, I am aware. About death, I don't know. But I have heard that after death, they go to some loka. He said, third question is, if they go to the loka, why it is not overcrowded? There is no place now. No more. Please don't come again. Why doesn't it happen? The third question. The fourth question when he asks is that when somebody is coming here, it is said that out of the 5 dravyas, it is the last dravyas, a drop that makes you come here. Have you heard of this? Anything like this? Sir, never, sir. Now, once this barrage of questions has started coming from here, to us also a question comes, do I have the control on whether to come here or not? Whether I should be born or not? I have absolutely no control. In fact, I do not know. I do not know. That means my knowledge is limited. After death, who wants to die? Is there anybody who says, Sir, I want to die? Nobody wants to die. Nobody listens to us. I don't want to die. The person I've seen patients in the last stage of their life, they want to leave. I am constantly observing my mother. She is very old. Every time she would say, Why Krishna is not coming and taking me? And within 5 minutes, she said that if you could just stop me, I'm getting a little spinning of my head, then I'm done. Nobody wants to die, yet it is not in my hands. Again, my knowledge is limited there. So limitation of knowledge, if it is coming everywhere, then I must try something. And that is precisely what has been described as Panchagni Vidya in Chandogya Upanishad, is what Kathoupnishad is trying to discuss. And that is why Yama Dharma started from the ground but reached very early to the other side. What is there when space and time is transcended is what it is describing. Actually, there is no description. Why? Within time and space, whatever description you use, none of that applies to beyond space and time. Yet, for the sake of our understanding, Gurudev says, when the mother calls a child for the study, she says, Gurudev's words, the teacher doesn't say 10 plus 5 is 15. He doesn't say so. He says, I have 10 mangoes. You have 5 mangoes. How many total mangoes? Gurudev says that doesn't mean that you're supposed to bring the actual mangoes. Similarly, Upanishada, when he tries to give an example that in this avastha, in Nidra avastha, it is giving you the mangoes. Basic is to add the thing. Addition is the basic. And that is why when we look at our limited adjunct and we say that yes, there is a pulmonologist, expert, he says breathing is so important. Upanishad says, na pranena, na apanena. This Vayu is definitely superior in terms of the control of the body, but superior to somebody, so inferior to somebody. Subjugation. Then the question comes, every single act that happens in our life, we think it is private. Gurudeva's word, there is no private thing in this world. What do we mean by that? Every single birth is an activity that is celebrated or acknowledged by the entire universe. It's a little difficult to fathom. This is what. And birth doesn't mean the birth of me, because we are so much obsessed with mankind. A birth of an electron, a birth of a proton, a birth of an inert object, a birth of a living thing, sentient, insentient, everything that is born, everything that is dead has some repercussion or other on the all-comprehensive creation that has happened. That is why creation has effect on us. Not only that, because the creation has happened in a manner, the constituent of creation also has the same constituent when the creation happened. That is why two nuclei, when they come together, they can explode and destroy a nation. And how small those nuclei are? They can't be even seen. And when two celestial bodies come and hit with each other, they equally produce the same kind of energy. How is it possible that something which is invisible produces the same amount of energy as large celestial bodies? It's because Pind and Brahmanda is same, Vyashti and Samashti is same, and the reason for it is everything that happens in the universe is one unique phenomena of having comprehensive effect on everything. So there is nothing private in this world or universe. If nothing is private in this universe, that means there must be something which is universal. And knowing that universal and identifying ourselves with that universal and being that universal is the ultimate aim. Then we do not say that the cells that are duplicating on the skin of my forearm are not mine. I may not be aware of it. There are constantly millions of them. Our total cell count comes to about 300 billion of the body. So those 300 billions are me. I may not be aware of it. I need not be aware of it, because I am aware of the transcendental truth as me. Constituents, assemblage of constituents, that's not the important thing. What is the a machine has a screw. There is a sub part. There's a cam, there is a shaft, whatever they call it. At the end, what is the transcendental truth about the machine? It produces this, is the transcendental truth. The rest everything is just machine. So everything has something that is transcendental into it. Me is the transcendental truth. Constituent from where this hunkar comes, इस घट अंदर अनहद बाजे, इसी में उठत गुहारा. What is गुहारा? सोहम. सोहम. That means that which is beyond space and time, that which is transcendental, cannot be within space and time, and pranas are within the space and time. And that is why the mantra, when it comes to that, the mantra says, Na pranena na apanena martyo jivati kaschan. Itarena tu jivanti yasmin etaha upashrito. The mantra says, न प्राणे न आपाने न, प्राण वायु अपान वायु बहुत जरूरी है, agreed, but not by that you live, but you live by that in which they take the shelter. Upashrito. Prana and apan, in other words, all the vayus, they take shelter in what? Or one who propels the, again we are going back to Kathoupnishad now, third or fourth mantra. It says that it propels the prana, and vayu propels the body. But that which propels the pranas is that. And that is why this mantra specifically talks about it. And one who is like this, because it was of संवत्कारikatvat जीवन हेतुत्वम उपपद्यते स्वार्थेन असंवतेन परेन केनचित अप्रयुक्तम संवतानामवस्थानं न दृष्टं गुहादिनां लोके तथा प्राणादिनां अपि संवतत्वात् भवितुम् अर्हति. The way grahadinam, the way the house is there, when the house is built, we do not know its constituents. Similarly, assemblage, when we focus our attention on the assemblage, we do not understand for whom the assemblage is there. My face, I am looking towards an assemblage. It's an effect. Why do I have a face? It's an effect of limitation. When there is no limitation, there is no face. What is the face? How does the God look? Whatever you feel. Make God a Lakshmi. You can convert God sex any time you want. You make her Saraswati, you make him Ganapati. That is for your understanding. Does God have any face? तेरी सूरत से नहीं मिलती किसी की सूरत, एक हम है जो दुनिया में तस्वीर लिए घूमते. Sufi says, you are not like anybody. So the question is, if the effect is focused upon, the cause gets relegated to the background. And that is why what it says is, you cannot be focusing on assemblage of yourself. You need to focus on that which transcends the assemblage. Coming to the next mantra, he says, Hantate idam pravakshami guhyam brahma sanatanam. Hantate idam. O Gautama, O Nachiketa, O son of Gautama, I shall tell you now. Pravakshami, I shall tell you now. What I will tell you? Guhyam brahma sanatanam. ये गुह्य है, esoteric है. Why esoteric, sir? Because you don't understand it. Something that you don't understand. गुरुदेव को esoteric लगा ही नहीं, क्यों? Exoteric हो गया, पर्दा हट गया. So you came to know about it. That is why I am going to tell you that yatha cha maranam prapya atma bhavati Gautama. Now the answer has come. Question was asked in the first adhyaya. After so much of upodghat and whatever you call it, explanations, everything, now the Dharmaraja is saying, hey, son of Gautama, now I am going to tell you what happens to the Atma, that is the body, after the death. The word Atma, you have to be always careful how to take it. Gurudeva has given in the commentary, here Atma means body. Don't take it as soul. Atma is used in so many. Buddhi is also called Atma. Body is also called Atma. Atman is also called Atma. Paramatman is also called Atma. goes with reference. This has to be very sharp while reading the Upanishad. Gurudev has said so. Here the Atman means Atman bhavati. Atman न bhavati. आत्मा को भवती वगैरह नहीं होता यहाँ पे है. दैट मीन्स इट्स बॉडी. आफ्टर द डेथ, where does the atman, that the person goes, that I am going to tell you. Antam te idam pravakshami guhyam brahmam sanatanam. Acharya says, hante idanim punaripinte tubhyam idam guhyam gopyam brahma sanatanam chirantanam pravakshami. Yad vijnanat, by knowing that, Guru, the Acharya is saying, sarva samsara uparamo bhavati. Sarva samsara uparamo bhavati. Sarva, all. Samsara, we do not call universe. The word universe doesn't explain the things. Samsarati, that means that which is born and which keeps moving. Samsarati, which keeps moving. What keeps moving? That which is born. Moving towards what? Its destruction. So, birth, maintenance, and destruction. These three stages shall continue to be there. That is why avijnanachya yasya maranam prapya yathatma bhavati yatha samsarati tatha shrunu he gautama. Punah punah sarati. That which is born again and again is called samsara. And that samsara uparamo bhavati. That means it will be extinguished in toto by brahmadjnanam. And that is what I am going to tell you. That is why coming to the seventh mantra, it says, Yoni manye prapadyante sharirastvaya dehinaha sthanum anye anusanyanti yatha karma yatha shrutam. Absolutely power-packed mantra. Upanishad's beauty. Just see the last two words. Yatha karma, yatha shrutam. Yatha karma, yatha shrutam. Shrut means, actually Shrut means to hear. Shruti we know, hear. But Shrut means, this is the problem. We hear a lot of rubbish every day. That is not called Shrutam. That after hearing which no further hearing is required is called Shruti. Ved, knowledge. Ved is with, knowledge. Jnanam, that which is when heard. What is that heard, hearing then? That is called Shravana. What Shravan is in that? One who has done sadhan chatushta and had all his papam extinguished, because of which he has what is called as a clean heart, and now he has come through the process of meditation and has mitigated his deflections or vikshepa and has come and sat near the Guru. Then the Guru would say, Tat Tvam Asi. This is that hearing. 3 words here and he is done. So how it is possible? There is an example. Previous births, cleansing process was over. Vikshep needed to be done, little bit of meditation, whatever. Got it done at a place, required roughly about 2 to 2.5 years. And after that, one fine evening, morning, I don't know what that time was, only Gurudev and Tapovan Maharaj knows, Tattvamasi was uttered by the Guru, understood by him. That hearing is called Shrutam. Yatha karma, yatha shrutam. Meaning, what is your level of knowledge and what is the karma that you are doing? Depending on that, what will happen? What happens is Yoni manye prapadyante. Yoni manye, Yoni is garbha. Yoni manye prapadyante. That means some people go to the Yoni womb. Going to the womb is getting born again. Sharirastvaya dehinaha. For what? To get the body. To get the shariram. Sthanum anye anusanyati. Sthanum, stha is to be at one place. We are jangam, mobile. Jangam is mobile. Stha, sthanu, that is why the trunk of the tree is called sthanu. Trunk of the tree is called sthanu because it doesn't move. Insentient as we call normally. They are not insentient, but we call them like stone. Sthanu cannot move on its own because Chalana valana is not there in such cases. So, by virtue of the fact, what is your karma, what is your jnana, you will be born as yoni manya, as in the womb or in sthanum, stone and tree. Your birth shall declare. It has been said right by the Shastras right away. In simpler words, they say that there is a Chitragupta. Everything in Puranas are a part of scriptures. It is Chaturdasha Vidyasthanam has Itihas and Puran into it. It is a Vidyasthana, that means there is a knowledge into it. Chitragupta Baitke, he writes everybody's diary, and what is Yatha Karma Yatha Shrutam. Why? लिस्टिंग बराबर नहीं हो तो डिलीवरी कैसे जाएगी? कुरियर पर्सन शुड नो हु इज टू बी डिलीवर्ड वेयर, and the courier person who knows is that invisible power which records or which keeps, and that's again a part of cosmic rule. At that point of time, depending upon your karma shruta, both knowledge, level of knowledge. What is level of knowledge? Sattva guna. What is level of knowledge? Sattva guna. Higher the sattva, higher the